Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Just a side note, I'm going to delete the router folder because we're not going to use it here actually in this module. We're going to use the router inside the coreUI, which is going to be the main focus of our today's video. So I'm going to create a new folder. I'm going to call it coreUI. This is a brand new feature or a brand new module that's going to be solely for anything that it has to do with UI. And again, this approach is going to be followed in the other tutorials for the Swift or the iOS application, Android application, and the Windows application. First things first, I'm going to create here a new folder. I'm going to call it assets. So you can find the assets in the GitHub repository under coreUI feature. So here are the assets of our application. It includes some animated background, some SVG files, and some images. So those are the assets that we're gonna use. And let's create another folder inside the core package or the coreUI folder, theme. So let's do theming for Vuetify. So first of all, I'm gonna create here a new file. I'm gonna call it theme. This file is going to define our theme of our application. I'm going to paste the defined theme, and I'm going to explain briefly how to override the theme on Vuetify. So basically, we are going to define the light theme and dark theme. The same color is going to be used in the iOS and the Kotlin version and the Windows version. So here, this is the primary color, primary variants, secondary color, and those are basically standard colors for success, info, warning, and error. And this is the foreground, the background, and this is the foreground on primary color. And we have defined some shade of gray here, and for the surface color. The same thing for the dark theme, just a little bit dimmer primary color and slightly brighter, if you will, for the primary variant. By doing this, you are going to override the primary color on Vuetify. So this is our theme. Now we need to define our typography. So we need to load the font asynchronously. So as I said in the beginning of the tutorial, when it comes to front end development, we are going to use the web font loader. So I'm going to create here a new file. It's going to be called whatever you want, web font loader .typescript async function. Let's call it load fonts. Going to store web font loader equal await import. The package name it's called web font loader. We do web font loader dot load, and we define the font that we will use here. So we're going to load from Google this particular font. So families, it's going to be an array, but we're going just to do one. So the font family that we will use in this tutorial is called Lato, and it's going to be 100, 200, 300 till 700. So now we are loading asynchronously the Lato font that we will use in this project as well as Swift and iOS, in the iOS, Android, and Windows, the same font. So that's pretty much it for this one. It's going to complain that there is no type. Okay, let's do, for example, legacy peer dips. Yeah, there is one package that has been added, but and it solved the problem. So that's pretty much it. So let's close this one. So for consistency purposes, I'm going to create a new file that's going to be called default. That's going to override the default look and feel of the Vuetify components. It's going to be available on the GitHub repository. So basically, for the alerts, for density, it's going to be comfortable, and you can do it as as a parameter in the code, or you can just do it here as a global customization. For the avatar, it's going to be flat. For the badge, it's going to be primary. The button, it's going to be primary. For the chip elevation, we're going to set it to 2. The list is going to be compact, and so on for the rest of the components or Vuetify components. For example, for the text field, it's going to be outlined by default, density comfortable, the color is going to be primary, and high detail is going to be automatic. And this is just a basic customization for our Vuetify components. So the last file that we will implement here is the index.typescript. It's going to be for creating the Vuetify application. Export this variable or this value. It's going to be called Vuetify that we'll be using to create a Vuetify instance. So inside, use components, directives. So I'm going to leave the imports till the end, and defaults. For default set, it's going to be material design icon. Theming, we need to specify the theme that we will use in our Vuetify application. It's going to be default theme. It's going to be light themes or the available themes in our app. We have defined the light theme and we have defined the dark theme. Now we have to apply font family. Here we're going to do defaults and global, style, and font family. So we need to import this component and directives. So these are all the necessary imports. And we have to define the aliases constant value from the icons or icon aliases. So it's going to be const aliases of type icon aliases, the default aliases, and we're going to add the logo of our application, logo small. In order to use defaults here, I'm going to add this section. I'm going to add here defaults that we have defined here. I'm going to move to default file, and I will add this section in order to add the font family. I don't think that we have defined this global before. That's pretty much it for the definition of our theming and creating the Vuetify instance that we will use in our application or the main TypeScript file defining the application, telling Vue that, hey, we're going to use all the components from Vuetify. So now we have defined the theming. Let's add one more folder, router. We're not going to use it for now because we don't have all the features. Add here a folder, going to be called util. New file is going to be called constants, and export the default stuff, for example, the application name and whatnot. So that's pretty much it for this first part of implementing the core UI. In the next video, going to implement the components. We're going to make our components reusable so we can reuse the same components everywhere in our app. So I hope you liked the video. See you in the next one. Happy coding.